Xenoverse 3 is coming, and I need every single race to have amazing awoken skills in that game, especially Majins. So today, let's talk about what Xenoverse 3 could do to make Majin awoken skills great. But before I list the transformations I want to see for Majins in Xenoverse 3, I want to talk about how I think the awoken skills should work in the first place. Saiyans are the damage class of Xenoverse, so of course all their transformations will focus on doing a lot of damage, but other races' transformations should focus on doing different things. Like Frieza race transformations focusing on having a lot of speed. Namekian forms should deal with their health and regeneration, but when it comes to the Majin class of Xenoverse, they have two main abilities. Male Majins have a lot of defense in Xenoverse, but female Majins have really fast recovery after stamina breaks. And while the Majin forms are going to focus on those two things, I do want to say that they will still give boost to attack power. Just like how Super Saiyan forms focus on attack power but still boost your defense and your speed. Some Super Saiyan forms like Future Super Saiyan Blue, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolved also boost your stamina recovery, and Super Saiyan God boost your ki recovery by a lot. But before we talk about the new forms I want to see in Xenoverse 3, can we please talk about the old form and how they can fix it? Please, Xenoverse 3, fix purification. This form could be so much better if they just did some simple things. Number one is just letting us keep our clothes on, but I do agree with changing our pants to the Majin pants, but listen, the rest of our outfit should not change though. Making an awoken skill where your character becomes an exact copy of an already existing character in a CAC game is not how you do things. People make CACs because they want to express their own individuality in the game. If I wanted to play as literally just Kid Buu, I'd play as Kid Buu. The next thing they need to get rid of is the form changing your entire skill set. But a hidden feature of this form is that it actually makes moves stronger. Moves like Vanishing Ball can now infinitely combo, and Pearl Flash gets a gigantic buff, not only to its range, but it also breaks guards when it's fully charged. If you already have these moves on, yes, the form should enhance these moves, but you should not be forced to have them on when you transform. I also think this gimmick of making moves stronger is something that every Majin awoken skill should do, and not just for these moves, it should boost other Majin moves like Explosive Boo Boo Punch, Zigzag Express, and the Boo Boo Ball, and any future Majin moves in Xenoverse 3. But now we can talk about the first new transformation I want to see in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, and this is also the first Majin transformation we see in the actual story. And that form is the Evil Boo form. Now, I know a lot of you guys want skinny Majins, and I want them too, but they should just be a regular body type. We've seen Majin Ku, and we've even seen a skinny fat Boo in Dragon Ball Super, so those should just be regular types for male Majins. And also, Xenoverse 3 add some BBW female Majins for all my BBW lovers in the back. Also, this NPC that has been running the entirety of Xenoverse 2, if he is in Xenoverse 3, I'm gonna need my boy to be a skinny Majin. But back to the evil / Grey Boo form. Again, this form should not force you to change your entire outfit. I think only having the Majin pants will be enough. And also, make sure this form has to make our characters disgustingly skinny and have that classic gray skin with the white eyes. Now, when it comes to the actual buffs this form will give you, this definitely does not look like a defensive increased form, I'm not going to lie to you. So I think this form should focus on what female Majins are normally good at, and that is the fast stamina break recovery. Now, that probably sounds really broken, but guys, if you have not watched those videos, please watch my 2 videos on fixing the cheese and poorly designed game mechanics of Dragon Ball Xenoverse. And in that video, I talked about how they can easily get rid of the cheese where people just break their own stamina with female Majins and get it back instantly and just have a really lame playing style. The easiest way to fix that cheese is to make it to where whenever someone breaks their own stamina, they go into the heavy stamina break animation to where they have to catch their breath and they're left wide open for you to attack them. Now, when it comes to the damage increase of this form, I think this form should focus on boosting Strike Super damage. Mainly because female Majins not only have a really quick stamina break recovery, they also have a lot of Strike Super damage naturally. And again, I like the idea of the forms trying to boost what the race is already good at. Next on the list is the Super Boo form, and I definitely think this form should give the biggest defense increase out of all the Majin forms. Out of all the different forms, Super Boo took the most punishment from the most fighters. I mean, bro was really going through it, and plus that really bulky build looks like would have a lot of defense. Now, currently in Xenoverse 2, the Awoken skill that gives the biggest buff to your defense is Super Saiyan 3 with a 15% buff. Now, 15% may sound small, but to everyone who's really played Xenoverse online and fought against people using Super Saiyan 3, you know how tanky that form is. But there is no reason why Saiyans, a class that focuses on damage, should be outdoing Majins when it comes to defense. So, when it comes to this form, I think this form literally deserves a 30 to 35% defense increase. Saiyans are able to get a 35% increase to all damage with Super Saiyan Blue Evolution and a 40% damage increase to their basic attacks with Super Saiyan God. Majin should be able to look at anyone transform and get a gigantic attack boost, but not even have to worry about it because they know as soon as they transform, they will eat every single attack you throw at them. The same way we saw Majin Buu just eating up all their attacks, I'm gonna need Majins in Xenoverse to be able to eat attacks like that. Also, in the same way that Super Saiyan God only boosts your basic attack and then gives you a nice key recovery and speed buff, I think this form should only boost your defense and then give you a nice key recovery and speed buff. Super Saiyan God is my favorite Awoken skill because it did the opposite of what Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Blue Evolved did. Those forms give giant boosts to everything but have really bad downsides like key drain. But because Super Saiyan God only boosts a small amount of things, it doesn't have to have a crazy downside. Equivalent exchange, nin restrictions, binding vows, that is how you make great forms right there, ladies and gentlemen. Next on the list is the Buff Buu form, and personally, I want every single race in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 to have their own buff mode. Max power for Earthlings, 100% power for Frieza race, Super Saiyan Grade 2 and 3 for the Saiyans. Even Piccolo has used the buff mode in the Garlic Jr. filler. And before someone comments, actually Ron Hatcher, Buff Buu isn't a buff mode, it's actually just what he looks like after he absorbed the South Supreme Kai. Listen, we all already know that, but adding the form in would be cool because it's a reference to something that he did in the show, and also literally anyone can just buff themselves up for a giant power increase. Now, all the buff forms in Dragon Ball either take a lot of stamina or they make you really slow. Well, with the sole exception of the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, of course. Master Roshi's max power form, terrible stamina issues. Frieza's 100% form, terrible stamina issues. Piccolo's giant buff form, terrible speed issues. And Super Saiyan Grade 3 has both stamina and speed issues. The buff forms are meant to give you a gigantic power increase, but again, this is a Majin form and I want to give it a nice defense increase too. So, for the sake of balance, this form will give you an increase to all of your attacks and a nice defense increase. It's also going to have to make you slower and give you worse stamina recovery, which are actually very strong downsides because Majins already have slow stamina recovery compared to other races. Next on the list is Majin Buu's fake Super Saiyan 3 form, and this is probably my second favorite Majin form. Especially with how Majin Buu used this form, I really hope we get his moves with the gigantic arms. Seeing him throw around Goma and do the gigantic Gum Gum Gatling was just amazing. Now, this form is literally just Majin Buu mimicking Super Saiyan 3, so you could hypothetically just give this form the same buffs and nerfs that Super Saiyan 3 has, or you could go a slightly different route. Buu used this form purely as a power-up so he could just beat the hell out of Goma. So maybe unlike the other Majin forms and unlike Super Saiyan 3, this form won't even give you a defense increase. This will purely be a gigantic speed and attack bonus. But for balance sake, this form should still have the really bad key recovery that Super Saiyan 3 has. Also, I do want to say, I don't want us to have the exact same moveset as Kid Buu, but Purification gives some really cool moveset changes like the unique flying dash, the unique dodge attack animation, and if you are far away from your opponent, if you use your heavy attack, it becomes a burst dash and reverse burst dash. And it allows you to combo right after, which is really good. So I hope all the Majin Awoken skills give you this moveset enhancement. And without giving you Kid Buu's entire moveset. Also, please, nerf the block on this. The block on this is insane. This should not be possible. Make it like Ultra Instinct to where every time you dodge, it takes up an entire bar of stamina. That would make it way more balanced. And please buff the Ki Blast on this because this is awful. Please buff this. And for the last forms on this list, we have the Majin Absorption forms. Now, I am going to make a separate video on absorbing people mid-combat, same thing with Namekian Fusion mid-combat, but this is specifically a Majin Awoken skill. Now, this could work like any other Awoken skill, but I'm going to try to get creative with this. First off, this form will not have the traditional increase to your speed, attack, or defense like other awoken skills in Xenoverse. Number 2 is that I want this form to have regeneration, but make it like mimicking regeneration to where it's only the last red part of your health bar and it's very slow. And number 3, I want this form to work like the partner customization. If you max out your friendship with a mentor, you should be able to use them as a Buhan, Bootanks type of form. Now, this won't be like parallel quests to where your master literally comes in mid-match. Whenever you activate this transformation, a pink blob will just come to you and then you will transform into whatever your master is. But in the same way how most Dragon Ball games let Super Buu transform into Bootanks and Super Buu, you should be able to choose 2 masters. And I don't want this form to give you an exact copy of your master's clothes or their skill set. So, just like the partner customization, you should be able to change the colors of the outfit, the skill set you have when you're using the transformation. I think you should even be able to change the Super Souls and the stat builds for these forms. That will not only make these forms really unique, but also give them crazy versatility, instead of having just a regular power-up. And again, these functions are already in the game. All they have to do is apply it to this transformation. We should be able to change the colors of the outfit we got from our mentor. And if our mentor has a special costume, let us wear their special costume and change the colors. And when you transform, male or female, you should get Buhan's build, becoming really muscular and getting Buhan's really long antenna, and also getting a nose. Yes, I will finally have my female Majin muscle mommy transformation, chat. Using this awoken skill basically means you're walking around with 3 different builds at once. Your base build and the 2 ones you get when you transform. Also, when it comes to characters like Frieza and Cell that aren't wearing regular clothes, they can just do what they did in Dragon Ball Budokai. I like how these unique forms look, but I do think the antenna should be longer like how it is with Buhan and Bootanks. Now, before I wrap up the video, I do know some people want a hypothetical God transformation for all the races, but in Dragon Ball Heroes, the God form for Majins is literally just Kid Buu, so we already have that. But if you do read the Dragon Ball Super manga and you've read the Moro arc, you know that making the Kid Buu form the God form is low-key crazy foreshadowing. So yeah, we pretty much already have a God form for Buus anyway. Also, other than purification, I hope all these forms make our CACs taller. Just like how DBS Broly gets taller when he transforms, these forms should make us taller because Buu does get taller when he transforms. But that is pretty much the end of this video. Now my next videos are going to be videos on Majin Absorption and Namekian Fusion mid-combat, and also maybe some videos on crossover characters I'd like to see in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, but that is pretty much it. God bless, I will catch you guys later.